our Professor Chess videos, I'm going to share another idea from my favorite chess teacher, Jeremy Silman. And as I've said before, knowledge in chess is power. So the more options we understand, the more reasons why give us the how. It also gives us the what in chess. If we can learn the what, the why, and the how, we can become very good chess players. This is in his book, How to Reassess Your Chess, the 3rd edition. On page 314, for those of you who have the book, for those of you who don't, I truly hope you can someday get this book. It has really opened my mind to a lot of ideas. He says, allowing yourself to fall behind in development in the opening is all right, as long as you are conforming to the strategic design of the position. Now, this is important. The Czech Benoni is a case in point. So he's going to show us the Czech Benoni Opening. D4, knight f6, c4, c5, d5, he's pushing the pawn to kind of close it off, right? And now e5, he surpasses the pawn, knight c3, d6. So we recognize immediately with this opening the closed position. Pawns are locked. This position, as a rule, favor knights. Okay, we know this. There's no guesswork here, right? Bishop comes to e7. Wait a minute. I missed a point. Knight c3, d6, e4. This center is completely locked, right? Bishop e7. Bishop to d3. Castles. Knight g to e2. And now, interestingly, black puts his knight on e8. Now, what is black doing? It seems like black, by moving his knight to e8, is breaking two rules of chess. Number one, black's or white's knights really don't belong on the very back rank. They're not strong there. And he's moved a piece in the opening twice. So what's he doing? What is he thinking here? Silman contends that now that we are learning how to read the board here, right? He contends that this is a perfectly logical move to make. Now, he's an international masters, so I pay attention to what international masters teach, even though it seems like it goes against the rules and the laws of chess. Let's let Silman teach us something very interesting about this move. Number one, it meets the demands of this position. And you go, really? And Silman would say, yeah, shut up, quit being skeptical, and pay attention. I'm going to show you something. This is very interesting. The position in the center is absolutely locked. This dictates that the play in this game is going to happen on either of the wings, from either player. Because you can't do anything in that center, can you? You can't move through that center. So, because it dictates play on the wings, it's going to usually be initiated by pawn breaks, right? I mean, you have to. You have to throw out the pawns to gain yourself space and to open up your board more so that your other pieces can develop and get out. So, this knight from here to f6, coming down to e8, because the position is closed, this move is preparing the very important, powerful pawn move of f7 to f5. He can't make that pawn move if his knight is in the way. It's in the opening. Well, shouldn't you try to develop more of your pieces first? No, because he's going to play on the king's side here. Next, he'll probably keep pushing the pawn or whatever else he does. The idea here is very cool. He says, for example, okay, knight e8. Let's say he's moved his knight e8 and white castles for the next move. Then he goes, oh, he's already pushed the f7, f5 pawn. And then he goes bishop h6. Now he's found a hole, right? Because he's pushed his pawns, he's got this hole, and now he's threatening the rook, right? So now the knight comes to g7, and black will eliminate white's h6 bishop by, get out of here, knight to d7, knight to f6, then king to h8, and then knight to g8. Oh, he hasn't played the f5 yet. Sorry, I lied. I feel bad about that, but I will get over it, and so should you. So he pushed the g6, presenting a hole for this, and this is white's good bishop. So be careful in recognizing that just because you have the knight pinned to a rook doesn't mean you're going to get the rook and the board is closed. But this is his good bishop. So you want to weigh the pros and cons about exchanging for that knight. Now, of course, you do get rid of one of black's knights, which could be very helpful to you. But you also lose your good bishop, and your bad bishop is essentially going to mean you're playing with one less piece. So that's probably why white has not yet changed out that knight. And now, of course, he can chase the bishop away. This time-consuming maneuver of so many knight moves is entirely possible because the center is closed. There's not going to be any quick blitzkrieg attacking going on. They can't. It's impossible in this position. Therefore, when the board is closed, what we do is we have the time to arrange our powers in the best and most maximal way possible. And if it takes you 4 or 5 moves to do that, then take those 4 or 5 moves to do that. It's okay. There's not going to be any quick checkmates to the king in this game, right? This is another point that makes this possible here, is because if the bishop comes back down, or wherever he goes, if he does come back down, he's going to develop the piece. He's going to develop the point to where, I don't have it set up here exactly, where he's going to swap out his bishop. We don't know how this game is going to be played, but he does want to change out his bad bishop for white's good bishop, right? This is the idea here, is this moving of the knights over here enables him to open up this bishop so that he can trade it out. And then if black does trade him, or white does trade him, it's okay. Now, black has eliminated his bad bishop, which in a closed position is superb strategy. You see how that works? The rules and laws of chess are there as guidelines. They're not set in concrete. By reading the board position, black is now able to manipulate his pawn break with the f5 pawn. He has it backed up with the rook. He has it backed up with the knight. He has it backed up with the queen. Right? Now, just assuming for kicks and giggles that white does change out that, you're not going to take it with one of your powers because the bishop's guarding it, right? You actually do want possibly to retain your knight, although you could take it with your knight, but you could also take it with your pawn, and that would open up the G file for your operations and give you a terrific pawn push down later, right? So either way, it's okay. If you did choose to take it with the knight, and he exchanged you with the bishop, and now you take it with your rook, look at the position that black has because he did make that knight move the second time back to e8. Now black has a fabulous open rook file. His queen is leading up front. His knight can jump into this game very fast, as can his bishop and his other rook. It's a very speedy, easy development for black to come after a kingside attack. This is the logic behind that weird-looking move after he opens in the Benoni and the center is closed to moving your knight back to e8. I think that's kind of a fascinating thing in chess. Yes, we have the rules, and yes, we have the ideas, but you can't be married to them in all situations. This is why Silman's teaching of reading the board becomes so valuable. That's what I love about the Silman system. It's logical, it's valuable, it's easy, and it takes a lot of practice. And he has so many interesting ideas to share with you on subjects like this, of which I'm learning, and of course, which I am in turn passing on to you as I learn them in my own games, or whether I'm studying other grandmaster games. So, that's your Chessercise for today. Ponder that one. And happy checkmating and happy Chessercising. Continue reading, continue learning, continue storing your minds with knowledge, because that's where the power's at. And I will see you in the next video.